Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with a product announcement and a little bit of discussion slash rant slash analysis of today's announcement, Valentine's Day mini announcement, where Wizards tells us they have an undying, indefinite love for our wallets. Talk about wallet fatigue, which is going to happen again. Right now, I think we're still even experiencing a little bit of wallet fatigue from like Unstable and Iconic Masters and all the things that came out around November. There was a lot of busts with products like even Rivals Vixen itself has been selling dismally. There's also the Explorers Vixen that came out that time. Just tons and tons of products. And just when we thought it was going to slow down because they have a master set coming up, we get this announcement today of Wizards falling in love even more with our wallets. So here it is. We have a bunch of new products, and I don't even know if they're talking about discontinuing some products to make space for these. However, these are some pretty cool product ideas, I must concede. I've actually think that I called this Commander Anthology. Let's just go down though before I jump ahead here. So first of all, most of these are going to come out in June, is when they announce June 22nd, August, June 8th, and June 15th. So a lot of products right in the same time period. So let's go ahead here. Okay, so it's not the most romantic of gestures, but it's the thought that counts, right? It's pretty romantic. I think we see where Wizards is really in love with, which is fine. A company should try to get all of our money. That's their moral obligation to do so. So coming to 2018, Magic the Gathering is getting its own LifeCounter app that does so much more than just track your opponents from 20 to 0. Okay, so is this going to be actually legal at tournaments? Allow you to set up and organize home tournaments and invite friends to play in them. Oh, wow. Okay. So here's kind of another... I think this is fine, though, because the tournament software should be accessible to everyone. But this is kind of a new little slap in the face. I wonder if you start getting casual points. I wonder if it allows you to put your DCI number in to this new companion app that will allow you to set up and organize home tournaments and invites friends to play in them. You'll have a card lookup function, new hubs, a profile that tracks win and losses over time, and much more. For the full announcement, check the article posted today. Well, we'll click on that here in a second and see what it is, because that's hilarious if they are going the DCI route where you can actually get like some points, Planeswalker, because some casual points or something. That's just another slap in the face of the local game store saying, hey, you don't have to meet up to play people now. You can organize your own tournaments. I mean, I guess it's kind of like how they promote the, well, Loading Red and Runny does have their game store that they do go to quite often, but if you look at most of their skits, a lot of their tournaments and stuff are held at their own little, their pad, their whatever they call their little, I don't watch it that often, but I know it gets pushed on the Magic the Gathering channel, and I'll browse through it. So maybe this is what their ideal look is. Maybe the game stores have become too problematic, too unwelcoming, too not what Magic wants Magic to be, and so they're going to try to push this, let's play at home with your friends, let's go the board game route. All right, Wizards, you want to go the route, that's fine. I think local game stores are a pivotal part of Magic's success. In fact, if we look back at when Magic was the highest, like the best tournament results and the best profit and just overall the most people playing, it's also the age of the local game store. This was Innistrad to Khans of Tarkir, I would say, would be the, maybe you could even include up to all the way to Battle for Zendikar, would be the where local game stores ran supreme. Since then, we've seen a huge decrease in tournament participation at the local game store level, and we've seen massive stores starting to close throughout the country. I do think it was a little bit overinflated with the amount of local game stores, and it wasn't something that was feasible for all of these to succeed. Oversaturated would be the right word, but I think that also has to do with a lot just this kind of you're turning the back on local game stores. And in fact, I think this app, even though it is necessary at this time period, this might not be the right. I think that if they were to do this, they really need to pump more reasons to go to local game stores. In some of my other videos, I've said we should just get rid of Friday Night Magic promos and buy a box promos and all of those promos completely and go back to players' rewards, and where you earn rewards is utilizing your local game store. So the local game store can keep track of achievements, have an entire achievements like Planeswalker point type page to where you earn achievements through participation, and then you can cash out through your local game store for various Wizards player reward cards. So instead of, maybe you don't like a Fatal Push, maybe you don't like all the garbage that comes out, the foil tokens, the Wizards will basically have a whole catalog of things that you can order, and then when you make an order through the Wizards Play Network, it gets shipped to your local game store of choice, and then they give off the promos. First of all, that would clear up a lot of this fraud that happens with these, what I call fake stores. That's where you'll see like the standard showdown packs on eBay, or a lot of the promos immediately on eBay as soon as they're released. You saw this with like Fatal Push and Path to Exile, where there's these playsets and playsets and playsets up before there was even an eligible F&M. These are stores that could give two craps less about giving them to players, and are just eBaying everything they get, and somehow still remain part of the Wizards Play Network. So I agree, that needs to be completely shored up. And then I think that a good way to do that is just to have Wizards control it through the Wizards Play Network. And then if people don't receive the cards that they have participation for, then Wizards can definitely audit the store and take them off the WPN. So I think that's the right route to go. I think that being able to audit individuals is a lot easier. You can check, like, make them verify that their information through various different verification, like Facebook or something like that. I mean, it's pretty easy to find if a person is a real person. And then if local game stores try to exploit real people, then it sets up local game stores for even other legal ramifications rather than just the fraud through the WPN. Anyway, that was a whole rant for another day. We'll try to stick back at products. I think there's a lot of ways that Wizards could utilize local game stores and have it be successful. Remarry the partnership between local game stores and Wizards of the Coast. Of course, I am a little bit jaded here because I own a local game store, and I would love it if Wizards would incentivize people to come to my store besides pre-releases. I mean, that's really the only drive we have right now is pre-releases. Anyways, let's go on to the actual products that are being spoiled. So first of all, we have this one called the Signature Spellbook, and the first one they're going to release is Jace. It's a spiritual successor of From the Vault. So it is successor, so maybe they're getting rid of From the Vaults. With a twist. Each spellbook is themed around a planeswalker and the spells that define who they are. Jace Beleren, fresh off his memory stored on Ixalan, has plenty of it in his arsenal. Each signature spellbook will contain one premium foil and 8 cards that will fit the planeswalker's identity. They will have an MSRP of $20, and you can get your hands on them starting June 15th. So yes, they're premium foil. So Jace has a lot of interesting cards from anywhere from, you could even say that it's just, you could say that a lot of like even Cryptic Command might even fit into a Jace. It's probably anything that they would cast it at. So what are signature Jace cards? A lot of bounce, a lot of illusions, and a lot of draw. And so you could definitely think that there's a wide array of cards that could fit in them. This will be mono blue, and it's going to, I don't know if they're going to focus on cards that specifically have the word Jace in it. Maybe a few of them will, like Jace's Phantasm, for example. But I think this will be a way for them to get premium foils of cards that need reprinted. Is Ancestral Visions necessarily a Jace thing? We'll have to look at like flavor text that has ever had Jace on it, or instances in lore where Jace has done a particular type of spell in the lore. So again, this opens up a lot. I think this is, of course, a little welcome thing. I think the From the Vault series was getting a little bit like, what do they have left? They have like a lot of tribal that they could go through, but they've done like artifacts, lands, even, lore, spells, like a lot of things. They're running out of ideas. And I think this is a good way to, hype it up. And who knows too, that they might actually even have the Planeswalker itself in this sort of, now it does say Spellbook, but again, this is a much needed way to inject supply, I think, back into the market. Even though they are premium versions, it does tend to decrease the overall value of some of these staples. So it'd be fun to see like a signature Spellbook. Chandra, for example, you could probably get some really good cards, and same thing with even Liliana and whatnot back into the mix. So, all right, on to Battlebond. Battlebond is a complete new booster release focused on two-headed giant limited play, releasing on June 8th. So what is it, just 6 booster packs? Okay, let's go ahead and look at what Gavin has to say. All right, so Battlebond in this year's draft innovation set. We've seen it in the past with Conspiracy Take the Crown, and Unstable. Oh, okay. I get it. So Battlebond is going to be one that has specific stuff that is good for two-headed giant. It's the first set in Magic history designed specifically for 2HG. Some sets like Oath of the Gatewatch have dabbled with it in the past, but Battlebond takes that to the next level. The new mechanics in Battlebond are unlike anything we've ever done in Magic, and they really evaluate the promise of Two-Headed Giant to its full potential. So this is going to have new cards in it. Little Magic is better than playing with a friend, and whether you and your best friend have been playing for ages and want to team up together, paging Logan Paul and what can I say for Lewis? Man, I had something to make fun of. Paul Chan and Lewis got Vargas to draft in the queue. Or you're looking for the perfect chance to bring someone who's hoping to get their foot in the Magic door, perhaps a child, significant other, family member, or just lapsed Magic player. Battlebond is the ideal set. The set highlights very well with our 25th anniversary is about. It gives players who have stuck with Magic a long time and made it a huge part of their lives a chance to play together. All right, for limited, you can play Battlebond in either sealed deck or booster draft like Conspiracy. It's a mix of reprint cards and new cards. 250 unique cards. 85 of those cards are brand new, all of which will immediately be legal in Commander and Legacy and Vintage. The rest are all reprints, some of which have spiffy new artwork. So typically, Conspiracy cards have been pretty broken for Legacy because they were balanced for multiplayer, and then when you actually put them in 1 versus 1, they're a lot stronger. So think of cards like Council's Judgment. So this could actually really shake up formats like Vintage and Legacy. Of course, it should go quite well. Expecting a bunch of these will be multiplayer in Commander. So I think this is going to be a good little set. So it looks like is Conspiracy over with then? We'll have to wait and see. What kind of new cards are in the set? Can't say much. Lots of limited gameplay experiences. Two-Headed Giant. We knew that the cards needed to have life outside the format. As a result, many of the cards are specifically designed with Commander, Cube, and Legacy in mind. Ugh, Legacy. Okay, that's some gameplay details. The flavor. Conspiracy took place on Fiora. Unstable took on Babylovia. Battlebond 2 has a new world. In Battlebond, we're going to Kylum, a never-before-seen plane, whoop-de-doo. On this world begins flocks from all over the plane to the arena of Valor's Reach, where 2-on-2 combat is the pinnacle of sport. Oh geez, you have to find lore that goes along with it. Oh good god. I wonder if there'll be like a legendary creature. I wonder how this is gonna play. Are you gonna choose a commander? It's gonna be two-headed giant with like you both can start with a commander in your command zone type thing. That's what it kind of sounds like to me. What kind of flavor can you expect? All over our worlds are normally built with flavor, creative underpinnings, and tropes. Theros, for example, is Greek. Innistrad was Victorian. Battlebond has a rich flavor, magic, whatever. It's going to be Italian. It's going to be Roman Empire. Come on. This is the biggest duh. It's going to be in an arena. It's called Valor. It's going to be Roman. We all know it's going to be more of the Roman theme to it. Really wish Gavin could tell us more. And now the lid has been popped on the set. Okay, whoop-de-freaking-do. Okay, so I think Battlebond is a good idea. Unstable is cool. I like them going this different direction for having Legacy, Commander, Cube type cards getting into it. They don't have to put these broken-ass cards in Standard. The problem with Standard, though, is we need the power creep to shift back down. One of my biggest problems with Standard right now is the removal package. I think is just too strong. For a lot of cards. Cards have to see value. So right now we've been pigeonholed back into about I'd say like a 3 or 4 type archetype. Yes, you can look at some of those 5/0 finishes and get a picture that really isn't Standard. But the overall is red is mono red aggro, which plays against removal quite well because they get value before they get removed. And then you have big finishers like Glorybringer, Chandra, and Hazoret that are tough to remove. So there's that archetype that gets around Fatal Push and gets around Vraska's Contempt quite easily. It can play around it. Then we have Grixis Energy, which is the value deck of choice at the moment, or you can put in the approach decks, Godfarrow's Gift decks that also play the value route. And then we have the approach decks that just go over the top of other ones trying to do the aggro control type strategy. So then UI approach just doesn't care. Control until they cast it twice. A lot of other archetypes like tribal vampires, tribal dinosaurs, tribal merfolk are miserable to play right now in Standard. They're completely unplayable. I think I called that correctly with Rivals over Ixalan, telling people that they were just out of their minds thinking they're going to be able to play merfolk with Fumigate and Vraska's Contempt and Bantu's Reckoning and Hour of Devastation and Star of Destiny and all of these like really good ways to punish go wide. Plus Fatal Push was still in the format. Plus, there's like even Moment of Cravings was printed in this, and it was just the creatures that don't get value are not playable right now in Standard. You have to have things. That's why the Phoenix got very popular. You have to have things that are difficult to answer. Not really more like I even say there's like more potent threats in Standard at the moment. They get overshadowed for cards like Gonti that just gets value. And so I think we need to dumb it down a little bit, where the power creep needs to go back so that people can actually play the tribes that the Ixalan was trying to showcase. But anyway, that's a rant for another day. I think that if they want Fatal Push in Modern, they have to go through a Standard set. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they should change how cards can get into Modern, but I think that would keep them from playing. Like this definitely this set that is multiplayer, that could easily break Modern with a lot of stuff. Legacy is a lot easier to keep broken cards from taking over because there's already very, very powerful strategies in that. All right, so let's go. Okay, let's just talk about let's just go back to this companion app at the very end here. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about is Commander Anthology Volume 2. I thought that this was going to be a thing going forward. That's why I thought that they didn't really care when the Commander 2016 sold out, because they could like, okay, we'll just reprint this in another set. So this is, I think that going forward, anything that's been printed in a Commander set is so subject to reprint. It causes this like loop in Magic. This kind of feedback loop isn't the right word, because I know that specifies a specific, phenomenon. But in this case, feedback loop as far as EDH Rec puts out posts saying people are playing these cards like crazy in Commander. So the people that create Commander see this and say, hey, let's put this in the set. And what it does is it creates a self-fulfilling prophecy where people continue to play those cards. And then it drives up prices, and rinse and repeat. Wizards just keeps reprinting the same cards. Commander Anthology is going to just make that even worse. So I expect it's pretty easy to think that we're not going to get like Marin and the other green one. So it's going to have, just like previous Commander Anthologies, this box set contains 4 previously released 100 card decks. So last one was Kaalia, Marin, Freya, and what was the other one they did? I can't remember what the other Kaalia, Freya, Marin, and was it Derevi that was in that one? I think that was the 4 that was in that last one. So this one, I think that they're going to go. They might actually go like what is actually eligible? Animar, which is really good. We have like Mimeoplasm. We have for the 2000, the early ones. We still have like Mindseas that could get a reprint. They might go Loro. So this is probably gonna have a lot of packed value. There are a lot of those older Commander sets that are insanely expensive. But look what it did to Kaalia. Kaalia just crashed the prices of a lot of those cards. So this is probably going to be way worth it to buy this Commander Anthology. Usually this cost like $100 last time, right, for 4 decks. Was it 100 or 119? I can't remember what their MSRP for was. But these tended to fly off the shelf and be very limited in the print runs. But I'd be very surprised if Atraxa doesn't get reprinted here. They'll do Atraxa because I think that will be the green of choice. They went all in on green. 3 out of the 4 decks last time had green in it. So this one, I think Atraxa will be reprinted. I don't know if they'll pick one for the latest 2017 deck. I think it'll be 2016, 15, 14, and 13, and possibly original, or they'll possibly just skip one of those. So yeah, maybe they'll just skip the 2014. But anyway, there's still some really good Commanders that can be reprinted there. Again, though, this is going to saturate the market, which already needs a little bit of break from the amount of products that are being released. All right, next up, we're releasing a new Commander decks with the Commander 28 edition going back in August. I don't know why they don't like this around Christmas, because they made such great gifts back then, but I guess they didn't want to compete with other products they put out in Christmas. So maybe August was a bad time for Magic, just selling products, because it's right before rotation, and putting one of their best-selling products in August just makes sense. So that's fine with me. And so no information there, no information on the Commander. Like if we look at these, there's not going to be any information here. MSRP is $164.99. What the? Was it this much for Commander Anthology last time? I thought it was a lot less for 4 decks. Why was I thinking 3 decks? Okay, so 4 times. What were the Commander decks normally at? Are they actually $40? So they're valuing these at $40 a piece. Jeez, That's expensive, man. They weren't joking with this Valentine's Day announcement. They are in love with your wallet. So throw some money at Wizards. The thing is, this probably will have 500 too. If you even go back to like Animar, Mimeoplasm, a lot of those decks that were early, those sets have packed value in them. So I'm even thinking that like 2 of these decks will probably cover the MSRP, especially if they pick Atraxa. And so these are gonna fly off the shelves though. Good God, though, 165. You'd think they'd give a little bit of discount because you're buying an entire package, like 149 or 124.99 or something. Man, that is just rough. That is really rough. That means I'm going to get them for $90 from Wizards. It could be 100 I get them for directly from Wizards. Ugh, man, my poor wallet. Everyone's poor wallets. All right, so on to the Chinese market-specific Planeswalker decks. Of course, the Chinese market is growing very well. Kudos to Wizards. I wish they had tried to really hit that Indian market. Like, that's one of the things. I have some friends from India, and I asked them, like, what kind of the games that are taking off in India are the MOBAs, and there is a little bit of RPG element, but like Pakistan and India, the MOBAs like Dota and League of Legends are very strong, and the card games, even like Hearthstone and Magic, are pretty much non-existent in India, Pakistan type markets. And there's a lot of people, and the thing about India and Pakistan to a point is they are still incredibly impoverished, but they are starting to get like their quality of life is increasing quite well in that neck of the woods, to where they might be able to be like China was, where they can actually start supporting a play group that can actually afford Magic. So I would like to see Wizards really hit those markets quite hard, but this is good news for the Chinese market. It's going to add more players, of course, and it's Chinese market specific Planeswalker decks are going to be a good way to get those. The only thing that's bad about that is China really needs to crack down on people, just the whole counterfeiting market in general, not just Magic, but everything. A lot of U.S. companies have a lot of issues with China because just how much things gets pirated, from even iPhones all the way to appliances, to you can get knockoff Chinese products like crazy. And I think the more exposure Magic gets in specifically this market, the more Chinese counterfeits are going to seep into the secondary market, and they're going to get better and better at this. It's a real issue that Wizards is going to need to tackle. But they're going to have a similar English version of the product, but again, this is going to be specifically so they're going to be named Chinese named Planeswalkers, have a team of Chinese artists, folklorists, and explorer branch of Magic lore rooted in Chinese aesthetics and mythology. They kind of did this with the Japanese when they animated both Chandra and Jace. This is perfectly fine. I think this is, before anybody wants to say that this is pandering to a certain demographic. No, this is just a smart move, and I think the English players will actually like these. And apparently there will be English versions of them. But these are just Planeswalker decks, so they're probably going to be pretty terrible, right? Right? Is that what I'm 20? Oh, no. These are $29.99. Never mind. These are pretty good. So Chinese lore, though, we had these sets because both of the sets that had more of the Asian themes were Japanese lore, weren't they? Kamigawa and what was the other one up there? Khans? No, Khans was just Asia in general. So we might see some reprints from the Khans block here in this particular set. But anyway, that's an interesting product. We don't know what the print runs of any of these are going to be, of course. Knowing Wizards, these are going to be quite substantial. So this is a mouthful of products to try to take in. I guess it's not really anything different from 2017 or 2016. It's pretty much the same. We didn't see a master set announced, which is good. So I don't think there will be a master set again this year besides 25. So at least it will give people a break from that. Dominaria still hasn't announced if there will be masterpieces or like invocation masterpieces type cards in that set either. So maybe they're still going to give us another breather from that. And all in all, I guess this is pretty much on par. However, I do think this is still a mouthful of stuff that is coming into the marketplace. And I mean, this is a very well-timed post with Valentine's Day. But anyway, let's go back to what is this? The companion app. You can create, manage, and track home tournaments. Want to run a massive Commander play day at home? We've got you covered. Itching to test out 8 modern or standard decks with friends, set up a tournament, look up card information on the fly, keep track of live totals, stay up to date in Magic news, and keep in touch with a play group. All right, so again, this is, I'm okay with this. I'm absolutely okay with them creating an app. There are already apps that do this. It just makes sense for Wizards to be like, hey, we have an official one. One of my biggest pet peeves about Dice Masters is dead, in my opinion. Very awesome game. Actually, a bunch of ex-Magic creators created Dice Masters, and I think the gameplay of Dice Masters is the second best CCG that I've ever played. Unfortunately, Dice Masters is run by the most inept company called WizKids. Like, every time I want to complain about Wizards, at least they get the bare minimums done. At least they put a database of their cards up on their own website. Dice Masters is just a crap show of them releasing what I call clickbait products, just a bunch of superheroes that the masses, they kind of take the Pokemon route, where they understand that the vast majority of people that are going to buy their products aren't going to play their product. It's just going to be just a collectible card genre rather than the game. The game is just secondary, and it really frustrates me because I think that Dice Masters is a very, very well done card game, and I'd love to get behind it and love to play it. However, WizKids doesn't even have a way to set up tournaments. They don't have a way to, like, we've tried to sign up with them and it's terrible. Their software is terrible. Their database for cards that exist is terrible. Their equivalents to a gather where you can look up rules to specific cards, because Dice Masters is even plagued, I would say, worse than Magic with how cards actually interact with each other or how cards actually work. Like, they don't proofread a lot of times. It doesn't seem like they play test a lot. And they have to end up errating or really giving a ruling on how specific cards work together. And it's just messy because they are so lazy getting back to people with rules questions. They haven't tried to cultivate a community. They haven't tried to promote their game outside of the usual suspects like the Dice Tower or a few other. There's like 2 premier YouTubers that Dice Masters just keeps flooding with previews and products, and I don't think either one of them do a very good video series. I think Tom Vassell is just someone that got huge over just reviewing product, and again, just for his Dice Masters reviews, just opens up and says, I like this, I like this, I like this, or talks about specific things. And I think it's just there's so much potential. So again, like I said, it's I'm glad to see that Wizards is taking, they have a pretty good infrastructure, I guess I would say, with their game. I think it's very easy to access it, to learn it, to read about it, to get feedback from Wizards, like as far as how a ruling, they do a good job updating their website. They run a smooth database. And so this is good, I would say. To me, though, it does have little elements of a slap in the face to the local game store, trying to encourage people to, play on their own rather than go to their local game store. But I mean, again, that is something that is acceptable. I don't think that Wizards should just say, screw these demographics that want to play at home. I wish with this, though, that they would have released something that would have encouraged people to come to local game stores, or right even on their app, be like, want to take this to your next level? Or how about those local game stores have kind of maybe a way for us to access these play groups and invite them over to, oh, cool, thank you for starting a play group. We have a commander group here. Here's our times. Kind of integrate these two systems. And maybe they will announce that in the future, but unfortunately what we've seen with like MTG Arena and that jackass Chris Cox, the president of Wizards, that just doesn't even understand the magic of Magic, which is sitting down and socializing and playing with people, with even now wants his stupid Arena to be played at a competitive level, maybe a hybrid Pro Tour where half the games are played on Arena and half the games are played in oh, shut up, Chris. Just get rid of him already. Like I said in Legendary Mana Stream, I think that I've been very critical of like Sam Stoddard and Marrow, but I think we have a new champion on campus now, and that's the president and CEO of Wizards of the Coast, Chris Cox, which is absolutely everything that he's done since he's been on board with Magic, is trying to take Magic into the digital world, trying to take away the social aspect of it, trying to take away even the collectible card game aspect to it, and push it to, big box stores, big chains like Mass Drop and Sports and More to go direct to the consumer and cut out everything that used to make what I would consider Magic magic. Now, a lot of people will argue with me and said that this is exactly how they played Magic, just with their friends. The only time I played Magic just with groups of friends, and it was a pain in the ass to get people together, is when I didn't have access to a local game store. As soon as I had access to a local game store, I dragged my friends to the local game store and made new friends and made teams and traveled to GPs and tried to get other people interested in. And to me, that was Magic, which is Magic. So I really hope that Arena fails. Well, maybe I hope it's good, but and Chris Cox just gets a black eye, and they just decide to go back. Okay, when was the time period where Magic was successful? When it was breaking all the records? I mean, go back to Tony Community College video too, where he said that we eviscerate Hearthstone when it comes to paper. Hearthstone failed when they tried to do a paper version of Magic the Gathering. Let them have digital. Let them have a game that is actually better suited for digital. But let's keep Magic what is Magic and own that market. Just completely make fistful of dollars on the paper market and make sure there's not a competitor that even starts to compete with you on the paper market, and let this digital thing die. Offer a service like MTGO, upgrade MTGO, create an environment that's actually fun to play on MTGO, where you have a decent leagues and decent chat service and reasons to log on every day and play with Dota's Compendium type stuff, where you have achievements and you can build towards something, and you can just, there'll be different ways for casual, competitive, amateur people to get a good experience on MTGO. Right now, I think that MTGO is more jaded towards competitive players, and that is something that needs to be addressed because of the way that it's set up is just so cutthroat. However, these are things that could be fixed already. We don't need to just completely scrap what we have with Magic and be like Hearthstone and start jerking off to Hearthstone and be like, we need that money. It's got to be, we gotta rip off this Hearthstone. What has Arena so far provided? Everyone that has played Arena, myself included, is just like, this is just booms right now. I don't care that my dinosaur comes into play and makes a screeching sound. Come on, it doesn't even look that great. It doesn't even play that great. It's still clunky. Decisions still have to be made in a very, very long. Magic rewards people that want to think out a scenario. It doesn't reward people that just are good at sequencing like the way that Hearthstone is. So Hearthstone is a play fast and sequence fast type game. Magic is not. It rewards people with patience. It awards defensive plays more than aggressive plays most of the time, which Merilus said he hates about the game, but whatever. Another rant for another day. And it's just, I don't know. It's just something that I think they've forgotten what got them there. And that's usually the biggest warning sign to a company. We've seen companies like, again, I used to work for a company called Sears, which is now basically obsolete because everything that used to make Sears is gone. They completely changed the branding. It used to be a dependable company, and now it was like a company that just wants to make you sign up for a credit card and buy junk and then get you on repairs. And now they're going out of business for it, and they deserve to go out of business because they forgot what made their company strong. And I think that if Wizards continues down this road, it's going to be the same thing happen to them, which is sad because they're celebrating 25 years of success. It looks like we just came off an awesome Pro Tour and some great Grand Prix, and there's a lot of vibrance in the Pauper and in even Commander at the moment, and they just really need to refocus on what made Magic Magic. So again, this turned into a huge rant. This was just going to be a short video about explaining products. Overall, I'm okay with all these products. I like it how they're taking chances and risks, and if these are done well, Unstable won me over. I was very critical of Mark Rosewater, and I really thought the guy had basically needed to go because he'd outreached his usefulness, but Unstable was a huge hit, and now, hey, kudos to Mark. I'll call success where it's at. It was a very fun environment. Besides just the dumb lands and foil tokens that got people to invest in booster boxes and drive the market up, I think there was a lot of people that enjoyed playing Unstable, and it was a good time. We had some very good sealed leagues with Unstable, and some very good draft with Unstable, and it was some very good moments in an otherwise kind of boring standard and dismal time in Magic in general. So take those risks, looking forward to these products, And let's just utilize those local game stores. Let's utilize the social aspect. Let's grow a community. Let's not go to the digital. Let's not go to where League of Legends or Dota, where you just insult each other all day long and rage quit and have to put up these dumb little timeouts where you have to go play at low priority because you're a toxic player type aspect. Let's try to get people back to playing social Magic. Anyway, that's Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder. Thanks for watching.